how this client went from heartbroken to being and feeling and experiencing her power. Welcome, my name is Rose, and welcome to The Rosey Life, where we help you free your mind and follow your heart so you live a life that you love. Welcome back. I'm so happy to be back in Chicago after traveling, and as many of you know, I already shared that I got the flu. So I was out for a little bit, but I'm back and I'm feeling much better now. And I missed you guys, and I've been thinking about you, and I appreciate all your comments and your love and support. And by the way, as this is the last day of the year, I just want to take a moment to say thank you. Thank you so much for being here with The Rosey Life, and for your love and your support, and for liking the videos and subscribing to the channel and sharing my content with others. It has been an absolute honor and pleasure to be with you all year long, and I look forward to continuing to do this in the upcoming year. So I just wanted to take a moment and say thank you. Okay, so I want to share this story with you guys because it kind of was like she came out of left field. So many of you know that I started a 6-month program, and back in November last month, and she's one of the last people that signed up. In fact, she even signed up a little late, and she'd been watching my channel, and she did one session with me, and then after doing a session with me, she immediately decided to join the 6-month program. When I met her, she was heartbroken, to say the least. And her SP had asked her for a divorce, and he told her to move on. And he even left the state that they were living in together. And when she booked a session with me, she was very, lost and confused and didn't even know what to think or affirm. And she was trying to affirm, she was trying different things, but she felt just stuck and hopeless. And I want to share with you her story because it is so incredible, her turnaround in the last 6 weeks, that I just had to share this with all of you. And one of the things that she really took a liking to was a video that I made. It was over a year ago, where I'm holding 2 cookies, and I'm going to see if I can find the video that she's referring to, and I'm going to post it below. So bear with me if I don't find it right away, but I'll do my best. And I'm talking about, in this video, I'm holding 2 cookies, and one cookie has a bite in it and the other one doesn't. And I was just using that as an analogy of, do you want this, this used bitten cookie, or do you want a whole new cookie? In other words, are you stepping into a whole new identity, or are you trying to heal and fix an old version, something that you thought you had? And in her case, it was her relationship with her husband, and she really wanted to stay together, but he said no. And she said something in that video really moved me, and she said she watched it many times, and that she finally decided after one of our sessions that she said, I'm going to move into the identity that I choose fully, and say goodbye to this old version of me. So here, and what I want to share with you in this video is, we hear a lot of talk about persisting and persisting in your wish fulfilled, right? That Neville Goddard talks about it. I've mentioned it. Many teachers talk about persistence. And one thing that she really understood, and she really was able to understand, is the difference when you're persisting. Before, she was insisting, she was affirming, and she was stressed and anxious and heartbroken, and she was insisting, and she was like really doing her best. She was efforting and doing, and that's when she came to me frustrated. So this is really important, you guys, to understand the difference, because it's a whole, you'll see, it's a whole vibe, a different vibe between the two. So persistence is not a condition to have your desire. And I had another client that I work with, and we were talking about this, that he was seeing persistence as a condition, that unless he persisted, that he couldn't have what he desired. So he was even making persisting a chore and persistence a condition, that if he's not persisting, that he's not going to get what he wants. But he was coming at it from, this is something that I have to do to manifest. So you already have and are all desires. So you already have it, so you don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything. There are no conditions whatsoever to be met. You don't have to change anything. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to do a technique. You don't have to do any single thing. Now, when you hear the word persistence, right, persistence is a choice. Persisting in your choice. In other words, you choose something, and then even if you see something opposite happening, or you feel something or think something opposite, you're just like, well, that's not my choice. And you come back to what you choose. That's persistence. It's not being stubborn. Insistence is what this my other client, both of these clients I'm referring to, were experiencing, and they were experiencing struggle. They felt like they were demanding. It was a stubborn. They were fighting, resisting, what is, and it does not feel good, or doesn't even feel easy. Okay, because it's forced. That's insistence. You're insisting. Do you see? And when you're insisting, that's coming from a place of lack. It's like you're almost like demanding to speak to the manager because you paid, and where is your food? Where's your service? Do you see? That's more what insistence looks like. And even I looked up in the Webster Dictionary the definition, I really want to get clear. I want all of you guys to get clear on the difference, because persistence is to be firm or obstinate in continuance in a course of action in spite of difficulty or opposition. So it's a continuance of your choice in spite of difficulty, in spite of opposition. Think about all the things that appear difficult or appear in opposition to what it is that you're choosing. Okay, those seeming difficulties, seeming opposition, because they're not real. Those difficulties and oppositions, they appear real, but they're not real. In other words, they're real in feeling an experience of the difficulty. It's a real feeling of opposition, but the truth is you don't have opposition. You don't have anything opposing you. You don't have competition. There is only you. So that's why they're seeming difficult, seeming opposition. They're not. You have no opposition. Those are difficulties or oppositions were from old assumptions, old limitations, when you didn't know that you were in control, that you are all that is. So that's persistence, is a firm or obstinate continuance. In other words, to continue to choose what it is that you desire. And here's the definition of insistence. It's the act of stating or demanding something forcefully or pushing. Do you see the difference? You're demanding and forcing, and sometimes that's what it feels like, right, when you're like using affirmations, or you're repeating affirmations like robotically, or saying them 10,000 times, or writing stuff down like all day long. It's like you're forcing it. It feels like you're forcing it, you're controlling it, and it feels like you're working against something when you're doing it. And that's when people say that they feel delusional, or they feel like it's too hard, and they're just tired and exhausted. That's because that's coming from that place of insistence. And insistence is resistance. Insistence is resistance, because you're not allowing everything that is just to be. You keep choosing. Remember, it's a continuance of choosing your preferred desire, what you choose. That is what persistence is. But persistence is not a condition. And I think a lot of people get confused with what persistence is, and then they make it into a chore and a condition in order to have their desire. So I wanted to get really clear on that difference. So this client, she was affirming from lack, not having her SP. That's what she was insisting. He told her, move on with your life, and he moved states. He moved out of the state that they were living in together, and they even sold the house. He even sold the house, and she was devastated. And he asked for a divorce. And she was just like, the hell, right? And so she was devastated. She was about actually to follow him. And this is when she booked a session with me. She was at a point where she was like staying in a temporary with some friends. And she says, I don't know, I'm thinking about moving to the same city that he moved to. So at least I'll be in the same city, so that when we're back together, I'll be there already. She was planning everything. All her focus was about him, what he was doing, where he was living, what he said, what he did, how he made her feel. All the focus was about him and what he was doing. None of it was about her. Even though she was affirming, even though she was visualizing them together, it was all about him. And so she was going to move over to be near him. But instead, after our session, after that one session that we had, she began to shift. She began to change what she was doing within. And after our session, she saw that cookie video that I'm talking about. And she mentioned many videos, but this one really, for whatever reason, stood out for her. And it's not the video, you guys. Like, I'll try to find the video and link it, but I'm going to tell you right now, just because the video that did it for her doesn't mean it's going to be the video that does it for you. Because many of you comment on different videos and say, this video really did it, video really did it. It's not the video, right? All the videos contain a similar message. It's just the way that I'm saying it, using props, using different analogies, using people's different stories, right? That's all that I'm doing. And so focus more on the message, even of this video, more than what video she'd used, and it got her movement. Do you see? Don't go fetching and searching for the perfect video, right? Listen to what's the bigger message here. So she saw that video and she said, I am a new identity. I am loved and respected. So she decided to move into the identity of I'm loved, I am respected, I'm the version of me that is loved and respected. That's who I am. No matter what he's doing, no matter what's happening, I am loved and I am respected. That was the identity that she moved into. And then instead, after we continued to do our sessions, instead of her picking up and moving to the city that he lived in, we started talking about what it is that she wants. And she said one of the things that she really wanted to, and it was so cute, she said she got inspired when I announced that I was going to be traveling. She says, you know, I want to travel. And she says that's something that he didn't want to do. And she said, so I went ahead and booked a trip for myself and her dog. And so she booked a place at a place for her to stay for like a month or something, to a city that she'd wanted to go that he didn't want to go. And so she booked her ticket and she went with her dog, and it was really cool. her success story, even with the dog, because she really was stepping into her power. And she was at the airport and was ready to get on the plane with her little dog. And she had already traveled with her dog in the cage, and they denied her, and they said, no, you can't get on this plane with that cage. That cage is not acceptable for flying. And she said, well, I've already traveled with this cage before. And they said it doesn't fit. And she got on the plane, and they even told her the plane was full. And there was this one seat, in a middle seat, that they said, if you can squeeze your dog cage underneath a seat, in that middle seat, then you can go. If it doesn't fit, this dog's not going. And on the outside, she was going, okay. But on the inside, and she says, this is my reality. And I am going. Me and my dog are going on vacation. We're going together. This is my reality, and this is going to benefit me. And so she got the dog to fit, the cage fit. And on top of that, they actually ended up moving the two people in that row. They upgraded them to an emergency exit where they had more leg room so that she could sit with her and her dog in that row. And she said she was the only person in the whole plane that had a whole row to herself for the trip. And she said, you know, it really taught me something, Rose. She said that I chose myself, I chose my desire, and I was worried about these two people being inconvenienced by me choosing myself. She says, but the fact is they got upgraded. And so things not only worked out for me, but they worked out for those two people as well. She said, I saw how everybody wins. Even when I focus on myself, if I'm self-centered and I focus on myself, everybody still wins. So I don't have to worry about other people not getting what they want. I don't have to worry about someone else being left out, because when I choose me, everybody wins. And I was able to see that. And I said, yes, that is such a great story. So she goes on her trip, right? And we're talking this week, and she tells me that she's really moved into this identity of her being loved and her being respected. And she said, I fell asleep one night just telling myself that. And she wakes up to a message from her SP, from her husband, and telling her that he misses her and wants to talk to her. He sent her Christmas present, some money, and he was really surprised that she took off and went on a vacation to this country that she wanted to go to. And he was really surprised, so surprised that he's actually, the SP is actually calling her, okay? And he said he's going to be in the same city that she's in next month. So this got turned around. She was going to follow him and go to the same city that he was living in. And now she's over there on vacation having a blast. And he's flying to see her in the city that she wanted to go to. He didn't want to. He's following her around. He's calling her. He's texting her. Do you see how she turned that around? So she persisted, not in him, not in them together, but she persisted in herself. She persisted in her awareness of that I am reality, that this is my reality. She said, this is my reality, and I am loved. I am respected. I am that version of me. That's what she persisted in. She said, no, this is my reality. I'm in charge. He's not calling the shots. I am. I'm loved. I'm respected. I don't need him to show me that I'm loved and respected. I am loved. I am respected. I am that version of me that gets what she wants. I am in charge. I am. And one of the things that she said that really helped her was when we talked in one of our sessions, and she said it really helped her to focus on a new identity and to let go of the old identity. And it really helped her to put all the awareness and focus within. And she said once she did that, once she stopped focusing on him and what he was doing and where she should go or what she should do or not do or say or not say or text or call or any of this, she said everything just turned around just like that. And now she said she's feeling in so much of her power. She feels so much of her power now, and that she says, she said she loves him, and she's like, I'm open. I don't know if I want him. And she says, if he does, it will have to be a certain version of him for me to be with him, because now she's exposed to, she wants to travel and she wants to do all these things, and she's meeting all these amazing people on her trip. And she's on her trip solo with her dog. And she's having these wonderful experiences now. And now her awareness is expanding, and she is a completely different woman when I talked to her from the first session when we met. So I wanted to share this story with you guys, because it is as an encouraging that it's not. And she said when she switched over from insisting things be a certain way to persisting, that she is loved, that she is in control, that this is her reality, that's what she persisted in. She said that's what really did it for her, because she went all in within. She made it about her. What do I want? What do I want to experience? What do I want to feel? Who am I being now? That was her focus, and that was her big awakening. And when I tell you guys, it is like I am talking to a completely different woman from the first time that we met to this, where she went from heartbroken to being empowered and calling all the shots in her life about everything. And I'll update you as more things progress with her and her stories as she shares them with me. And I really look forward to continuing with these updates, because these people in this, you guys, like all of you, are so powerful. And everybody that I am working with right now, I mean, the stories are phenomenal, because there is nothing that is impossible, because with God, all things are possible. With God, meaning go within and claim who you are. The 3D has to follow what you do within. Stop looking on the outside for evidence. You are the evidence. You are the lighthouse. You are the lighthouse sending out the signal. You are the light. That's why you can't find the evidence, because you are the evidence. It's like you're the proof, looking outside for the proof that you're the proof inside. Do you see? But you are the proof. That's why you can't see the proof, because you are it. You are the proof. You are reality. Okay, you guys, I hope that you all enjoyed the video. Thank you guys again for being with me and subscribing to The Rosey Life. Thank you guys. I'll have another membership video coming up shortly as well. Thank you guys for those who are members. I love you guys so, so much. You guys are all so freaking amazing. And I will see you real soon. I love you. Bye.